Let's get one thing straight. When you arrive in Tokyo, what stands out isn't the skyscrapers or the crowds. It's what's missing. Public rubbish bins. You can walk for miles through busy streets and quiet lanes and barely spot a single bin. Yet, the pavements are spotless. This absence creates a peculiar situation. People clutching empty bottles, looking around, unsure where to put their rubbish. Dropping litter feels unthinkable. The streets are so clean, you'd feel like a vandal. In other cities, bins overflow and litter still piles up. Here, there are no bins, and no litter. The cleanliness is almost unnerving. You might wonder if there's a secret cleaning crew or hidden hatches in the pavement. But the truth is more interesting. It's about personal responsibility. Everyone becomes a custodian of public space. Leaving your mess for someone else simply isn't done. The lack of bins is a deliberate choice, rooted in history and culture. In fact, the story of Japan's vanishing bins took a dramatic turn in 1995, after the Tokyo subway sarin gas attacks. In response, public bins, especially in train stations, were removed for security reasons, as they could be used to hide dangerous items. The government and local authorities decided it was safer to have fewer bins, and the public adapted quickly. Many Japanese people recall stories of carrying their rubbish home, sometimes for hours, because there simply wasn't anywhere to throw it away. Tourists are often baffled, but locals see it as normal. This attitude is taught from a young age. In schools, children clean their own classrooms and public spaces, learning that cleanliness is everyone's job. It's a quiet, powerful statement about how society can function. At festivals and public events, it's common to see people carrying their trash with them, or volunteers handing out bags to encourage everyone to take their rubbish home. The puzzle of the missing bins is scattered across history, education, and daily life. It's a blend of security, culture, and a deep respect for shared spaces, a uniquely Japanese solution to a universal problem. For first-time visitors, the lack of bins is baffling. You step onto the bustling streets of Tokyo, coffee in hand, and finish your drink, then instinctively scan for a bin. But there's nothing in sight. You're left awkwardly clutching your rubbish, feeling more and more conspicuous as you walk. Some visitors even joke that carrying trash becomes a new travel companion. Tourists swap stories. One recalls collecting wrappers all day, only to finally ask a hotel clerk, "Where are the bins?" The answer is always the same: you take it with you. Locals don't think twice. They slip rubbish into a bag or pocket to deal with at home. It's second nature. One foreigner shared how, after a week, they found themselves automatically tucking away wrappers, almost proud to blend in with the local routine. In many Western countries, public bins are everywhere, overflowing after festivals, with cleaning crews working overtime. The expectation is that the city will handle your waste. In Japan, the responsibility is both personal and shared. Some visitors are surprised to see shopkeepers sweeping the sidewalk or neighbors organizing community cleanups. The result? Cities of millions, yet remarkably tidy. One traveler described the shock of seeing a spotless street after a busy festival. No litter, just a sense of collective pride. Frustration gives way to respect, then admiration. Many visitors leave Japan with a new perspective on public space and a habit of carrying their own trash, even after they return home. It's a cultural gap that's hard to miss, but for many, it becomes a lesson in respect and responsibility.
To truly understand why Japan's streets are spotless yet lack trash bins, we need to revisit a day that changed the nation forever. March 20th, 1995. On that morning, members of the Aum Shinrikyo cult unleashed deadly sarin gas on Tokyo's subway system, targeting innocent commuters during rush hour. The attack left 13 dead, thousands injured, and an entire city gripped by fear and confusion. Authorities soon discovered the attackers had hidden the gas in plastic bags that were easily stashed in public trash bins. Overnight, these ordinary bins became symbols of vulnerability and potential danger. The government's response was swift and sweeping, removing bins from stations, parks, and busy streets across the city. News anchor. In the wake of the attack, authorities have begun removing public trash bins to prevent future threats.
I remember that day so clearly, says Ms. Sato, a Tokyo resident. We were all so scared. Suddenly, even a trash can felt dangerous.
The change was drastic, but for many, it felt necessary. Public safety became the top priority. We had to adapt quickly, recalls Mr. Tanaka, a shop owner. People started carrying their trash home. It became a new habit. What began as an anti-terrorism measure soon became a new urban norm, shaping daily routines and public behavior. We lost our sense of innocence that day, says a survivor, but we gained a new awareness of safety. The legacy of that attack lingers in the binless streets and the collective memory of a city forever changed. Security concerns reshaped Tokyo's landscape and its people.
Imagine removing all bins from London or New York. Chaos would follow. Overflowing trash, complaints, and a city overwhelmed by litter. But in Japan, after the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin attack, thousands of public bins were removed almost overnight for security reasons. The process was swift and widespread. By 1996, Tokyo had removed over 80% of its public trash cans from stations and streets. At first, many were frustrated. A 1997 survey found that 62% of Tokyo residents missed the convenience of public bins. Yet, the streets stayed clean, perhaps even cleaner than before. Littering rates dropped by 20% in some districts, according to city officials. Experts say this was an unplanned social experiment. Dr. Sato, a sociologist, explains that Japan's culture of meiwaku, not causing trouble for others, runs deep. The idea of leaving rubbish for someone else is unthinkable. Stories emerged of commuters carrying empty bottles for hours, and parents teaching children to always bring their trash home. People adapted quickly. Sales of portable trash bags and pouches soared, and it became common to see commuters with small bags for their own waste. The streets remained shared, respected spaces. Families and workers alike took pride in keeping public areas spotless. Social pressure to conform to cleanliness is strong. No one wants to be the one seen littering. In fact, a 2002 study found that visible surveillance and peer observation reduced littering by another 15%. Community cleanups became more common, and the collective will to keep the city tidy proved stronger than convenience. The bin removal showed that mindset can be more effective than infrastructure. Even visitors are amazed by the spotless streets. Sometimes the right culture is the best solution. In Japan, the Great Bin Removal became a story of adaptation, pride, and collective responsibility. To truly understand why public bins are rare in Japan, you need to see the complex process of sorting rubbish at home. In a typical Japanese household, waste isn't tossed into a single bin. Instead, there are separate containers for burnable trash, non-burnable items, PET bottles, cans, glass, and even specific plastics. Here's how it works, step by step. First, you check your local municipality's detailed waste calendar, which tells you exactly what type of rubbish is collected on which day. Next, you separate your waste into the correct categories: combustibles like food scraps and paper, incombustibles such as ceramics or small electronics, and recyclables like bottles and cans. Each item must be prepared carefully. PET bottles are rinsed, labels and caps removed, and then placed in their own bin. Cardboard is flattened and tied with string. Glass and cans are washed and sorted by color or type. The challenge? The rules can be so specific that even long-term residents sometimes struggle. If you make a mistake, say putting a dirty yogurt cup in the wrong bin, your rubbish might be left behind with a warning sticker, or even returned to your doorstep. Compared to many other countries, where a single bin or a simple recycling system is the norm, Japan's approach is far more demanding. In places like the US or Europe, you might have just 2 or 3 bins, and less emphasis on cleaning or separating items. This meticulous system means that a single public bin would undo all the careful sorting done at home. For public bins to work in Japan, you'd need a whole bank of them for every category, impractical and space-consuming, especially in crowded cities. That's why the take-it-home philosophy is so important. By carrying your rubbish home, you ensure it enters the precise sorting system, rather than being mixed up in a public bin. Even if security concerns disappeared, all-purpose public bins would clash with Japan's national approach to waste. The system is built for precision, not convenience, and that's what keeps the streets so clean. In Japan, the value of cleanliness is woven into daily life from the very first days of school. In primary schools, students are responsible for cleaning their own classrooms, hallways, and even toilets. There are no janitors. This daily routine is called osoji, and it's a cherished tradition. Teachers often join in, working side by side with students, showing that everyone shares responsibility for their environment. One teacher shares, "We don't see cleaning as a chore, but as a way to teach respect for shared spaces and for each other." Some schools even have special programs, like cleaning contests or cleaning time songs, to make tidying up fun and engaging. The lesson is clear: it's your space, so you keep it clean. This mindset is reinforced at home and in the community. Community cleaning is a collective activity, building pride in public spaces and strengthening neighborhood bonds. Spotless streets are the result of years of education, community effort, and cultural conditioning. By adulthood, taking rubbish home is second nature. Many recall their school days with pride. It's not a burden, it's just the right thing to do. A habit formed through years of shared experience. The spirit of tidiness and respect for public spaces shapes the entire country, starting from the very first day of school. Public bins haven't vanished completely. They're just rare, almost like hidden treasures scattered across the city. You'll spot them next to vending machines, but only for bottles and cans, never for general waste. Convenience stores or konbini offer bins for customers to dispose of packaging from their purchases, but not for anything else. At festivals, temporary rubbish stations appear, carefully sorted and manned by volunteers, turning waste disposal into a community effort. Major tourist sites and some train stations may have a few bins, but these are rare exceptions, not the rule. These rare bins reinforce the system. They exist only where waste is truly unavoidable, and their presence is always clearly marked. For everyone else, the expectation is simple: take your rubbish home. This shapes daily routines, with commuters and travelers often seen carrying empty bottles or wrappers in their bags or pockets. Stories abound of people searching for bins, locals and tourists alike. Some recount wandering for blocks, rubbish in hand, before finally spotting a bin and feeling a wave of relief, almost like finding a hidden prize. When you do find a bin, you use it carefully, making sure to sort your waste correctly. But the journey doesn't end there. Any new rubbish goes right back into your bag. This system of rare, purpose-driven bins shapes daily life in Japan. It's not about blanket convenience, but about thoughtful, specific solutions that encourage everyone to take responsibility for their own waste. For tourists, this system can be frustrating. You finish a snack, pocket the wrapper, add a used ticket, and soon your pocket is a mobile landfill. The urge to find a bin is strong, but visitors quickly adapt, carrying a small my bag for rubbish. It's a simple solution that makes a big difference. You become aware of how much waste you generate. Carrying your rubbish makes you rethink consumption, maybe skip that extra plastic. The lack of bins is a subtle lesson in environmental awareness. Most visitors come to appreciate the clean streets and the mindset behind them. A city doesn't need bins on every corner to be tidy. It needs people who respect public space. The pocket full of rubbish becomes a small price for a pleasant city. It's a lesson in civic pride you take home. In Japan, this practice starts young. Parents teach their children to carry their rubbish, instilling a sense of responsibility early on. Even the elderly adhere to this practice, showing that it's a lifelong habit. Of course, there are challenges. Tourists often struggle initially, finding their pockets overflowing. Environmental activists argue that this habit significantly reduces litter and promotes recycling. The impact is clear. Japan's recycling rates are among the highest in the world. The environment benefits too. Rivers and parks remain pristine, free from litter. Both locals and visitors enjoy cleaner, more pleasant public spaces. Ultimately, carrying your rubbish is more than a habit. It's a reflection of a culture that values cleanliness and respect for public spaces. And it's a lesson that leaves a lasting impression on all who experience it. Japan's clean streets aren't just the result of policy. They're the product of a deeply rooted sense of shared responsibility that runs through every layer of society. From school children sweeping hallways to commuters tidying up train stations, everyone plays a part. Removing bins elsewhere wouldn't work the same way, because in Japan, cleanliness is a community effort, not just a government mandate. Shopkeepers sweep their storefronts, neighbors organize regular cleanups, and city officials run campaigns to keep public spaces pristine. In many places, public cleanliness is seen as the government's job, but in Japan, it's a shared mission that starts from a young age. Families, students, and even the elderly join forces in community initiatives, picking up litter and caring for parks together. The street's cleanliness is the concern of every person who walks it, reinforced by gentle reminders and a culture of respect. This sense of ownership is the secret ingredient, a mindset passed down through generations and celebrated in community events. It's not about fear of fines, but about not disrupting harmony, about pride in a shared environment. The cleanest cities are those with citizens who care, supported by community initiatives and government encouragement. That's the real brilliance behind Japan's spotless streets. A society where everyone takes responsibility, together.